All right. We're here.
Showtime.
Another episode of Confessions of a Street Broker. And I got my man, my dog, Tucker Cason.
Let's go, baby.
Vice President of the Oklahoma City office of Mercer Company.
Mercer Company, CRE.
Let's go, baby.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing you are is my 75 hard brother.
We did that together.
We did that together.
That was painful.
That was tough. That was really tough.
I was shredded after, though.
I was too. Like, I had abs at the end of it. And I was like, I've never had these. And then I went to 75 hard days of drinking after that.
You can do 75 hard, but it is 75 hard drinking after
Yeah.
that.
So for anybody that doesn't know the program, you have to do 2 workouts a day, one of them of which has to be outdoors.
For an hour.
For 45 minutes. It ends up being an hour.
Yeah.
So 2 workouts a day. Isabella's done it too. Isabella did it with us. Yeah. She was in that little group. We did that. You have to drink a gallon of water a day.
And the key to that is you got to get 32 ounces when you wake up.
Yeah, you got to nail it early.
If you don't get a liter in the morning, you're toast.
No, you're done. You have to read 10 pages in a book.
Yep.
Nonfiction.
Mm-hmm.
You have to take a progress pic every day.
And they have that little app you could post it on.
Yep. So it doesn't fill up your iPhotos. So it's within the app. And you have to, what else? You got to...
There's one more, I think.
You got to follow a diet.
No cheat meals. No cheat meals. Not one cheat meal.
You have to follow a diet, and that's it. And
what diet did you go?
We did we both did it. We both did the slow carb diet.
Off the 4-hour body.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a pretty good one. Now, what I liked about it is the diet has one cheat day programmed into it.
So you can have the cheat meal.
So I don't know about the rules, but we had a cheat day. And but you know what? I think the whole point was the discipline. That was the discipline of doing all the tasks. And man, it's about day 52. You're like, dude, I am done with this shit.
You don't realize the commitment it is. It's a big commitment.
It is. And I think I probably made $100,000 though doing it because God, I got super focused.
You get focused and you get shredded. I almost had an 8-pack. I was like, all right,
that's what it takes.
But damn, that beer tastes good.
Yeah, I was like, man, after that, I was like, martinis, bottoms up.
Yes. I think we did go 75 drinking after.
Yeah, no, we did. But I mean, I don't know. You kind of learn some things about yourself throughout that process. I mean, I think I got really sick one day. Mm-hmm. I got like the flu for a couple days and just had to power through, you know.
That started my obsession of walking.
Yeah.
I would walk every morning because I was just doing too much. I was about to get hurt.
Yeah.
I still walk to this day from doing that.
Yeah. You got to manage your volume, and walking is just a good, that's when I started riding a bike. Mm-hmm. I just went and rode a bike every day. Very low impact, very good ROI. Like I would burn like 350 calories riding, because I'd ride 10 miles in about 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. And, you know, and then, you know, you have to go outside no matter what. So, I mean, there was, you know, if it's raining, you still have to go outside.
Still got to go.
You know, and if it's balls cold, you still have to go.
That was a good challenge. That was probably one of the harder, just for the length.
Yeah.
That is anything for 75 days, you get a real good perspective.
Yeah.
Like that took forever.
Yeah. And we started with a bunch of people doing it with us, and man,
everyone dropped.
I think it ended up being me, you, Isabella, and Joey at the end. That was it, right? Mm-hmm. That was it. We were the only ones that completed it.
Good job for doing that, by the way. That was hard.
It's terrible. I won't do it again.
No, I sometimes think I want to do it again, and I get about 3 days in, I'm like, oh man, I did this shit. So,
I did a hard 30 after.
Yeah.
I did 30 days one more time. I'm like, and then after that, I was like, I'm good.
Yeah. I don't know. I tell myself I want to do it again, and then I kind of think commercial real estate's a drinking sport.
It's a stress management game.
Yeah.
When you get told to F off 27 times, sometimes a beer tastes good at night.
Yeah. So, I don't know. But anyways, that's a very unique experience we experienced together. And I encourage anybody to try it once. I think that's a one-time thing for me. Actually, I did do it twice. I did it another time. But
it reminded me of that book you told me to read once, The Greatest Salesman Ever. Where it's 3 times a day for
10 months.
That was a commitment too. It reminded me of that.
Yeah, it is. That's a lot. So, like I told you when we started, I like to start with a little curveball question with topic that I know people that I've been in my life. So, but let's just kind of start at the beginning for you. Cool. Where'd you grow up? What's your story?
I'm an Oklahoma City bro.
Okay,
born and raised.
Okay.
For a long time, played football there in college at UCO, University of Central Oklahoma.
Okay. Wait, hang on. Where'd you go to high school?
Heritage Hall.
Yeah. Heritage Hall's produced a lot of athletes.
A lot of studs.
Home of Wes Welker.
Yeah. Sterling Shepard, still playing.
Yeah.
Little Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
Turner Peterson, legend.
Local legend. Yeah. Caden.
Caden, yeah. He's the legend.
Yeah.
Dude, they've had some studs go through there.
Yeah. So
for a little private school, that's pretty high output.
A little private school. Now, you were recruited to the private school, right? They do a little recruiting kind of deal there.
This white boy can run fast.
This white boy has got the wheels. We can work with this.
He plays good defense.
Yeah, and your boy Wes played there too, right?
Yeah, Wes played there.
Yep.
We actually played in college together too, our first year.
Okay.
Or 3 guys on our high school team went to UCO.
Okay. And UCO's in Oklahoma City?
Edmond,
pretty much.
North, yeah.
That's like saying Frisco or something to the Metroplex or Salina or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, okay. So you go to UCO.
Got out of high school, immediately went into coaching.
Got out of college.
Got out of college, went right into coaching. I took the victory lap in college, had to take an extra year and a half to graduate.
Yeah.
And so then I started coaching, went over there, coached just football to start.
Mm-hmm.
Then my next year, I was the PE teacher, 3rd and 4th.
Where was this at?
Heritage Hall.
Oh, so you go back to Heritage Hall.
I go back to Heritage, yeah, because they had a good coaching staff.
Yeah.
We had a lot of good program, good coaching staff.
Yeah.
And then I ended up running the middle school program that ended up being the strength conditioning coach, which was probably my favorite coaching ever.
Yeah.
And then special teams coordinator.
Yeah.
Did that for 3 seasons.
Yep.
And then the last one, I was like, man, I'm up here to 6 a.m. to 11 making no dollars.
Dude, the coaching life is a grind.
It's just a lot of time.
It's so much time.
It's time. And it's very rewarding.
Yeah.
And you're with a good group of guys.
Yeah. In your heart.
It's
not
rewarding.
in your wallet.
No. If you didn't want to go to the next level, there's really
nowhere to go. Yeah.
So
yep. I see that. I got some buddies that are still coaches and they're kind of like, man, like, they're my age and it's like, man, where do we go now?
And at Heritage was interesting. Not everyone was on the teaching staff. So there was guys that had other jobs that came and coached.
Yeah.
That was
you can get away with that in private schools, right?
That's the only spot you can get away with it. I liked that part of it. I was done. We won a state championship my last year, and I was like, all right, mission accomplished.
Yeah, I think that's what Jeff had the idea one time of, like, we'd all go coach a high school football team. We'd go find a local private high school. We could all go do real estate the day and go coach football in the evening.
When I was done coaching, but there's one thing that's brought me back a little bit. 6-year-old soccer.
Yeah. Oh, you're back in it.
And now I'm like, I'll go train Aspen every weekend.
Yeah.
We're going to go do foot drills. We're going to, that's been I still have it in me.
Yeah.
But just with 6-year-old girls.
No, that, I was fortunate enough to get it back, right? When Barrett started playing football. It was so funny. I just remember I signed him up for football in Prosper. We were living in an apartment in Frisco, and I signed him up, and I was like, I'm not going to coach. I don't want to get all in this business, blah, blah. The email comes through. Hey, I'm so-and-so. You're on my team. I need volunteers to help coach. I was like, I'm in.
The coach missed the game, and all the moms on the group text like, who's coaching? I'm like, I am. I got it.
Man, it's such a rewarding feeling. Like, so I coached Barrett's teams from kindergarten through 6th grade, so 7 years.
That's fun.
Straight. And man, I remember sometimes I would just kind of laughingly, I'd tell people this, but I was pretty much serious. Like when I was brokering, be like, hey, listen, come August, I'm kind of available, but my other job starts, and that's coaching football, and I'm serious as hell about this
and
shit.
It's intense.
Yeah. Oh, it's totally intense. And we moved to tackle at 2nd grade. We, and just, so it's fun to be able to experience that with your kids and, relive those, those moments and do those things.
We can get kind of obsessive too. So we like obsess about things.
Sure.
And once it hits you, once it ticks, it's like it's 20. You can't quit thinking about it.
No, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I mean, I was breaking down film and all these things.
We're winning this game.
Yeah. Like you could come into Mercer Company and it'd be in the morning and I'm watching Huddle, like, and, our very last game of the year, of our 6th grade year, we lost in the championship 12-8 to Salina.
It's devastating.
Man, it was like the greatest game ever. Like it was the hardest fought game we'd ever played. It was just like, it felt like a win. It was over, but it felt like a win. And, man, it was, you know what? That was when we were doing 75 hard, I think, because I think
I actually might have came to that game.
Because it was, because I remember that was the night I was going to drink. I was like, because I timed it where I was like, I'm not drinking all football season, and then I'm not drinking until after the championship game. So we're making it to the championship game. And then that night, me and my boy Justin Valen just got housed till 4 a.m. I didn't go to work on Monday. I got so drunk that Saturday night.
The other life hack of the 75 hard is after that, you feel it way faster.
Oh, yeah.
You don't need 10 anymore. It's like 3.
No. It's funny. What came out of coaching youth sports for me, too, was we always played Sherman and Denison, and I just hated them. Like, I just wanted to beat their ass all the time. So now when people bring us, Sherman's got all this buzz around it because of the TI going in there, and people will bring us the deal and be like, hey, you interested in Sherman? I'm like, hell no, fuck that,
A vendetta forever.
It's a little league football thing. It has nothing to do with the actual people or the real estate.
It's just personal though.
Yeah, it's
real personal.
So, anyways, but that's fun. You get to coach her, man, and I know how much time you spend with her, and that's
I had to
awesome.
tone it down on the side. Like, watch this guy get so excited over 6-year-old soccer.
Oh yeah,
I had to just breathe and let it happen. Y'all go play. I'll just when something happens, you might hear me, but I'm gonna shut up.
God, it's funny when Barrett comes home now from practice. I'm like, what happened today? What's going on? What'd they say? Nothing. Stuff. Nothing. I'm like, God, you don't talk to me anymore about it. Like, I need details.
It's funny.
So, but yeah, no, that's a fun time in life, man. And that's the kind of coaching that I think what you'll find in all that is that's what you were looking for in coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And you can have that, and then I mean, God bless them coaches, man, because they don't make anything and they spend all their time up there.
And they have a big impact on your kids.
They do.
Like coaches have, kids listen to coaches. It's such a influential person.
It is. It's a huge, and that's what I love. I love Barrett's linebacker coach.
That's great when they have a good coach. It's so good.
This guy's so invested in the kids, and it's super important because I mean that's kind of like a father figure to him now.
There's so much influence in that in that age too. It
is. It's awesome for me. The experience of it is like when I go to a varsity game on Friday night, I go to get a water or something or a popcorn, and I see 10 kids I coach. Like, hey, what's up, man?
Come say what's up. That's cool.
That's a cool. So I'm like, I'm friends with them all on Snapchat. They're like, why you snap me lately? I don't know. Dude, I don't really do this all the time, but So that's another feeling that comes out of it too. As you go down the road, Aspen's friends will be giving you the daps every time they see you, because you're their coach.
It just melts your heart.
Yeah. It's a very good title to hold.
The other day, Aspen was walking on the field, and I had a heart to heart with her. She got so mad at me. She got a little tear crying. I'm like, we don't walk on the field. We just don't walk on the field. That's not what we do.
Yeah,
it was pretty fun. And after the next practice, she goes, Dad, I didn't walk on the field. I'm like, I know.
Well, I would say a lot of the disciplines and the things that you do, you learned in athletics.
90% of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to compete.
Yeah.
To learn to compete. That's the biggest.
Yeah.
I'd say 90% of it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a programming that you don't know you're getting for later success in life.
Yeah. So true.
Yeah. And I think there was I've been on this Tom Brady kick, like I was telling you earlier.
Mm-hmm.
There's a speech Tom Brady gave when he talks about you should play football. It's hard.
I've seen that.
It's a great speech. And
Mm-hmm.
I saw it one morning on Twitter and I was like, Barry, you got to watch this, man. I watched it. He's like, it sucks getting up at 6 a.m. and going to work out. When your bones hurt, it sucks. And all your buddies are sleeping and all this stuff. And it's like, man, you're programming yourself to win in different arenas in life down the road when you
in anything you want to do outside in anything anything you have a passion or want to do.
Yeah,
so true.
It takes putting in the work on those things. So
the reps, that's probably the only thing that matters.
Yeah. So okay, so we derailed there and went down the youth sports rabbit hole for a second, but you kind of realize coaching's coming to an end for you at Heritage Hall.
Coaching's coming to an end. I go to Oregon for a couple of years. I come back from Oregon.
What are you doing in Oregon?
Went to get in the pot world.
Okay.
So that's when the first MMJ ever happened.
Yeah.
Went out there. We opened a couple stores, had some dispensaries.
Was this you and Wes?
No, this was a buddy of college. Okay. He actually played in the league for a couple of years. One of my good buddies, Bryce. Anyways, we come back, got it. That wasn't for me. I'm great at sales. I'm not a farmer.
Yeah.
But I'm good at, I'm selling. I enjoy stuff, but I got to get out of farming. So we moved back, or I moved back, and then I get into medical billing. My dad was a PT, and he had a small medical billing company, so I got into basically collections. When I look back at it, it was collections. Yeah, I was calling on AR. Yep. Did the whole gamut over there, but really my main thing was dialing for dollars. Yep. So I got good on the phone because I had to call these people all the time that just didn't want to pay you, that they should pay you. But anyways, did that for 2 years. And then Turner called me. He's like, dude, you got to come to Dallas. I'm like, and do what? Yeah. He's like, man, this is just like the grinders, dude. And he goes, I don't know anyone else who likes to grind like you. He's like, just come out here. Yeah. I'm like, whatever, F off. So then he calls me again. And he's like, dude, come out here. I'm like, all right, whatever, I'll come out there. So, and this was when Aspen's mother was pregnant. Yeah. So but I come out to Dallas and I didn't know it was a job interview. I really didn't know anything. I didn't even know I do real estate. Yeah. I didn't even know what that was. But I get up there and Turner's like, hey, put this suit on. I'm like, a suit? I'm like, we need a suit. I don't know how to. He's like, tie this tie. I'm like, bro, I don't know how to tie a tie. I'm like, hold on, I don't know what this is. So but then we go and meet Jeff and the crew, and I didn't know it was an interview. Yeah. This is kind of funny. Don't tell Jeff this, but Turner prepped me for the interview. Yeah. And so there was like, Jeff asked this question: is money worth more now or later? Yeah. And I had no clue, but Turner prepped me, so I got the answer right. I answered it flawless. I was like, So we do that. But really, I was like, I didn't really know what to think about it until I walked out and I saw this check up on the wall. And I said, Turner, what the fuck is that? He goes, that's a big check. I said, I know. I said, for what? He goes, that's what someone did in a month. I said, what? No. I said, no. A month? Yeah. And so then we walked out, and we walked out of the office over there on LBJ, and we were walking down the hallway. I told Turner, I said, I'm in. So that was how I met the crew.
What year was this?
2017.
Okay. Yep.
Middle of 17.
Yeah. So we drop you in the middle of Garland. We airdrop you into Garland. Say, go get them.
Didn't know what I was. Didn't know anything about Garland.
Yeah.
Garland's an eclectic spot.
It's very unique.
It's eclectic.
Yeah.
There's people from all walks of life. Mm-hmm. A lot of different smells in that market.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. A lot of different smells.
The warehouses there have their own distinct smells. I don't know, just because of the diversity.
Yeah. No, you know what's interesting about Garland too? It's the one place you can get away with like 12-foot clear, I feel like, to a degree.
Yeah, there's people that will take that.
There's a lot of buildings like that.
There's a bunch.
You know,
Old Garland. There's a bunch.
Bunch of just low clear buildings. Now, it's weird. I always say Garland's like the sister to Irving. And whenever the real estate gods were handing out assignments, they gave industrial to Garland and multifamily to Irving.
That was nice of them.
Yeah. I don't think it worked out well for Irving. It's
blown up since I've left. It's erupted.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 635 expansion. I mean, Mesquite's like a market now that people care about. Like, I mean, when you started, no one wanted to go to Mesquite.
Mesquite was like, ugh.
Gross.
Mesquite.
You might as well be in Longview at that point.
Yeah, it had to. Yeah.
So, anyways, okay. So let's see. You start working Garland, right?
Start working Garland. Move out to Dallas. I was a unique time because I moved out to Dallas. I didn't know anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't really afford the rent.
Yeah,
the rent was so expensive, and I found the cheapest spot I could find. And I was the only white boy in the complex.
Yeah.
And we'd have to wear a suit. And I remember I would like, man, I'm leaving here at 5:30 in the morning because I'm the only white guy in a suit here.
Yeah.
And I'm getting out of here early.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just grind time. It was just, it was unique because I only had like two friends. Turner was like my only buddy.
Yeah.
And then obviously you move to a new spot, you meet new people. But
yeah.
So it was just I really got to grind really hard to start, which helped get out of the mud.
Yeah, you didn't have any distractions.
Yeah, no, it wasn't very minimal distractions, and it was just like cold calls.
Yeah,
for like 6 hours a day, in person.
Right,
every day, even on Fridays.
Yeah, even on Fridays.
Even on Fridays.
Yes.
We have a saying in our crew. It's two things: Fridays spread the gap. We don't golf on Fridays.
Yeah,
Fridays spread the gap, and the weekends make you rich.
Yeah, no, it's I would say, it's funny. You know what me and Will do now is Friday afternoons, we're usually sitting here at 5:00 and we just start calling brokers.
See who's working.
Mm-hmm. I hear their background. They're like, oh, you're like, what are you at a bar or something? You at a bachelor party,
What do you think the percent is? 30%?
That work till 5:00 on Friday?
Yeah.
Maybe 30%.
I started calling owners from 3 to 5 on Friday.
Yeah.
You have a pretty good hit rate.
Oh yeah. I used to make calls after 5:00
to owners.
Yeah. And especially in person, everybody's usually gone and they're sitting there.
If someone's there late, it's them.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, the broker passed. Well, I have this one client, Gary Pito, and he's always like, you fuckers don't work on Fridays. What a joke. It's funny. We closed his deal on a Friday. I specifically did not call him to congratulate him. And I called him on Monday and I said, hey man, just congratulations on closing. I didn't call you on Friday because it's my day off. And, I would always sign off emails to him like,
on Friday.
TGIT. Thank God it's Thursday. But he always got a kicker at Razins because he's like, you fucking people don't work on Fridays. I was like, majority of them don't. But yeah, on the weekend is where it's at.
Weekends where it's at.
Hey, do you got the Oklahoma City guys coming in the office on the weekends?
I'd say we're 50-50.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I think in today's world, to organ at home is okay. The one thing you can't do is just print. And it's nice to have everything printed.
Yeah.
I let them do both.
Yeah. But we were always in the office.
In the office is a different beast.
It is. It's a different.
And you're there to work, and so I can get it on, and you can be done when you're done.
Yeah.
At the house, it kind of never ends.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of, you have interruptions.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're working Garland, and then you end up taking a little hiatus.
Took a hiatus.
Yeah. Went and ran. You kind of started the pot company, the manufacturing side, right?
Man, that was a whole nother wild ride. But we started this company, and it started off really small, but we just hit so fast. And in the beginning, it went from real small, real profitable. In the end, it got real big and not profitable. But
well, you learned a lot, right? Like you have a perspective now that you can sell to owners that not a lot of your competitors do.
When you're just battle tested in business, and maybe you do have a big business or a little business, but you can talk to guys who run a business differently because like it almost becomes a consulting role because you're looking at the op. I'm looking at your op.
Yeah.
You got the op. You know your op better than me, but I'm just like looking at it from common sense angle. I'm like, you can talk to them in a way that I'm not just showing you a building. Hey, building. It's like I can go show you the building that I would use, that I would go pick for my op if I was running yours.
Yeah.
Which I think that's a unique.
It's a very unique thing.
Especially when you go from distribution, manufacturing, multiple types of manufacturing, to even to sales and the whole gamut. I think that's really helped me win deals in my second tour.
Yep.
Deals we probably shouldn't have won.
Right.
But I could talk to them I just have a different lens to look at.
You could relate to them.
I can feel the pains of it.
So I always say, if you've never made payroll, you'll never understand.
Yeah. Or missed it.
Or had to put in capital to pay it.
Yeah.
Like that's when it's tough. You're like, man, I got a 50 grip bill coming up this week and
it ain't there.
I got to like kick in some money or figure it out.
Yeah.
And you want to create mutiny real fast. Don't pay payroll.
Oh, you're done.
Your ship will sink.
And if someone does stay through the hard times, you got a gangster. That person needs to be rewarded.
Yeah. So you wound that business down, and and we talked all throughout that, and so I was like, get out of this and just go broker, and that kind of spawned the birth of Oklahoma City.
It did.
Mercer Company.
Yeah, I think in any business, a lot of these, I've read a countless amount of self-help, but there's no quitting, but there is a point where you have to pivot. So pivot, I'm not even the right word, but there comes a point where you've put so much in, you're out. Like there's nothing else to put in,
right.
And it didn't work.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean you stop going. I just think it means you got to make a directional change.
Yeah.
Which was perfect timing for like kind of how it all kind of went lined up. And furthermore, like sometimes you're where you're supposed to be.
Right.
Sometimes like you're with the people you're supposed to be with. The stars have aligned and you get to go run it.
Yeah. No, it, I just remember seeing you in that situation and I was like, man, I've been where you're at. This really sucks. You probably just need to cut bait with these things and move. And it's tough to build something and get rid of it. You hate to see the thing you built kind of wither away, right? And but
sometimes it withers. And you can, when you give it your all, I think at the end of the day, like I'd rather go for it 1,000,000 times and fail because it's going to hit one of these times.
Yeah,
and I'd rather go for it and not make it than not do it.
Well, the other thing is this too. It's like you get to the other side of it and you're kind of like, damn, I'm glad I got out of that shit. You're like, I was kind of holding on for a while, but now that I'm on the other side, I'm like, woo, so much less stress.
Yeah, you don't have to. Managing inventory is really different in real estate. It's way easier to manage inventory.
Yeah.
It's a different type.
Well, no one steals your inventory in real estate.
No one steals it. You don't have to do intake. Yeah. You don't have to audit it. No one can steal it.
Yeah. I was actually meeting with some buddies of mine yesterday and they have a operating business and, they're in a tight spot with it. And I was like, very, very similar to the situation I had with me. And I was like, guys, I know exactly where you're at. I'm just going to tell you, it will end and you will get rid of this and you will move on and you'll be really sharp going forward. Mm-hmm. So like, not every venture succeeds.
Nope.
It really doesn't.
You think it does, but you'd be shocked how many don't.
Oh, so many don't.
So many. I would say I got a street MBA though. Like after all that, at the end of the day, like I don't think you could take a business course that could teach me about.
You can't.
Interviewing and hiring and firing and just
cash flow
and manufacturing finances and just the whole gamut. My big takeaway is I've got an MBA, I call it a street MBA because I'm battle tested in the trenches.
Yeah,
and I mean it's sometimes it gets thick in the trenches.
I totally agree. I mean, I think I felt the same way when I got out. I was like, man, that was a very expensive education, but I guarantee there ain't no consultant or anybody smarter that can come in here and really kind of challenge me on some things unless it's stuff I'm not involved in, Straight up. But at the end of the day, business is business. I think there's 4 concepts to business. I think there's marketing, which is lead generation.
Mm-hmm.
There's sales, which is converting those leads.
Mm-hmm.
There's fulfillment, which is fulfilling what you sold. And then there's accounting.
Yeah, because once you sell, it's not really over.
No. You got to
That's the
fulfill it.
definition of tenant rep. Just because you signed the lease, you really just you get to get out of that car and get into the next one because you got another lap to go drive.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, and then, there's customer service past that point, right?
Oh, yeah.
You end up becoming a property manager half time when you're a tenant rep.
No question.
They don't call the property manager. They call you.
And you better over service because they're coming back.
They're coming back.
You kind of have to.
You have to.
For the longevity, you have to finish the deal.
Yeah.
And you got to, the service doesn't stop.
So, tenant rep is it's a very fitting thing for you, right? It's a very assassin driven thing.
Yes, it is. And it's really the young man's hustle because you got to outgrind everyone.
Yeah.
It's like you can literally outwork every single person in the tenant rep side.
Yeah. So something kind of interesting, and you and I were talking about this the other day on the phone, but like tenant reps are viewed differently in different markets.
Mm-hmm.
And a tenant rep is not viewed like it is in Dallas, right?
So it's painful. It's painful. It's not a deal the same.
It is. I mean, so for people listening to this, what's the fee structure?
Yeah.
Let's start off with Dallas. Most of you people listening to this are Dallas driven people, but there's some people from all over the country that listen to this. So there's different fee structures.
Mm-hmm.
But Dallas, a tenant rep if it's a triple net lease, is typically paid. The total fee is 6 3/4.
Yep.
Of which the tenant rep gets 2/3 of that, or 4.5%.
Yes.
And if it's a gross lease, it's usually paid 6%,
mm-hmm.
and the tenant rep's getting 4%,
mm-hmm.
and the landlord agent's getting 2%. So that's not the case in Oklahoma City.
No, I wish it was.
What is it in Oklahoma City?
Jeff and I have talked about this and why the structure changed, but there's how the laws were written and what established agency is why I think it's like that.
Yeah.
But the fees in Oklahoma, it's 6%. There's no 6.75.
Is that gross or net?
Both.
Okay.
So both.
There's no delineation.
In Oklahoma, I think people have a hard, they don't even define net and gross the same. They do, but I feel like it's not as clear up there.
Yeah.
But it's 6% across the board.
Okay.
And it's 50-50.
And it's 50-50.
Tenant rep and tenant rep side 3, landlord 3.
3.
And they don't renewals. Mm-hmm. Renewals are very different up there.
Yeah, they don't want to pay on renewals.
It's market up here for renewal to get renewals in the commission agreement.
Yeah.
I swear I think we are the evolution up there, and we're changing tenant rep. But they tell me renewals can't be done, and you can't get these. But we've gotten renewal commission signed and commission agreements.
Yeah. And are these local landlords or are these more institutional landlords?
Local guys.
You'd probably get less pushback from an institutional landlord because they're maybe used to that because they're in other markets.
Yeah. I think, that I don't think would be as big as a deal. But the local guys, they 1.5 is what I've gotten on renewals.
Yeah.
For them to sign. I still think you can actively work. You can actively work them though, but you're not guaranteed. I haven't got anything minus 1.5 guaranteed.
I will say the one shift in the Dallas market that I've seen is when I started, it was like automatic. And now it's more, everybody works in the language as long as you're actively involved, which I don't disagree with, but it was nice whenever you had that stick if you needed it. It's just like, hey, I don't do anything. You got to pay me. So, which has worked out nicely, but it worked out sometimes too. I've seen Jeff in some situations where he's like, hey, I'm here to help. And they're like, no, we're not going to use you. And he still gets paid.
You might as well take your representation.
You might as well take the rep, So,
but I have pushed on the 4%. And I'm not done pushing on that, but I'm going to keep pushing, especially if it's direct and they don't have representation from the landlord.
Yeah.
I've gotten it 3 times.
Yeah. So if it's a landlord out there just for lease by owner
or property, or a lot of these guys up there have property managers that do their leasing.
Yeah.
But if it's one of those, they don't get commission.
Yeah.
And so I've pushed pretty hard.
Yeah.
I've also been shut down pretty hard, but I'm going to keep pushing.
Yeah. No, you have to ask. That's when I discovered the Wiley brothers would pay me 4.5 on the gross. I think I was their number one tenant rep in 2013.
Yeah, pretty good.
Like 4.5 on the gross. We leasing these things. This is great negotiation too, because I was like, I'd show my clients billing, like, look, I can get you paint and carpet, probably get you a month free. They're not changing the rate.
That's it.
Expectations were set and hit every time.
Yeah. Managing expectations is a great term.
Yeah. So, well, that's an interesting, because then you look at it like, we've always said, man, why take lease listings when I can go tenant rep? But up there, listings. So if you're a lease listing broker, you have a listing agreement for 6%. So if you do it direct, you get the full thing.
6%.
Yeah.
But that's the game up there. I think that the biggest difference in the two markets is the tenant rep side, and the all them boys up there, they don't really go pitch tenant rep. I don't.
Yeah.
I know they don't, but they go control listings. That's all they care about is the listings.
Yeah. They want to control a certain amount of footage. And,
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's their game up there.
Yeah.
Which leaves a great void to fill.
Yeah.
Which we're filling.
Another interesting thing about the Oklahoma City market, or just Oklahoma in general, is that it is a disclosure state.
The buying's different.
It's very different.
And everyone sees what everyone gets.
Everyone sees what everyone gets. So it's very tough to create a lot of arbitrage.
The game is different in the pitch, in that and we've adjusted to that too, right? Because back in the day, my BOV was better than everyone's because we had all the comps. You have to sell. It's more service over there. You have to your customer service over there has to be over the top because everything's disclosed.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest difference. My BOV doesn't swing as big of a stick, other than we put it together. It is valuable. You didn't have to do anything. I can come give you a free appraisal, but everyone can see everything. Anyone who's savvy can go look on the county and see it all.
So CoStar's actually more valuable in Oklahoma City than it is Dallas,
because you get all the comps.
You get all the comps
sent to you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I remember when I bought 101 Sarah.
Yeah.
I remember CoStar called me. They're like, "Hey, we just wanted to confirm that this is the price you paid." I didn't confirm anything with you. Immediately, Texas thought, and I was like, "How did you get that?" They're like, and I didn't understand it as a disclosure state.
It's on the county.
Yeah, it's on the county. So, yeah, that's a different dynamic in that market, because it's tough to get a guy to sell a building when he goes, "Well, Joe down the street just got this for his, and I want that for mine."
Yep.
And it's then you have to really get into the minutia of the differences in the properties to say, this is why yours is worth that. So from an investor standpoint, it makes it a little more challenging to buy value there, right? Because it's a more level playing field, I would say.
Level playing field, and so much happens off the market.
Yeah.
It's just the pool's so much littler. It's like Garland is Oklahoma City.
Well, so I've said this a lot. People, I was like, man, we're really blessed to be in Dallas, because we have 1.2 billion feet here. Oklahoma City is 150, 160 million square foot market. That's like GSW.
It's like one market is the city.
A submarket in Dallas is the city. Same thing with Austin. It's like 150 million feet. San Antonio is 160. It's the same thing. Those are small markets.
And a guy who owns 20 properties down there, everybody knows him.
Yeah, of course.
So you can get to know everyone really quick. So your service has to be over the top.
Right.
In everything.
Well, then it comes down to relationship. A lot of relationship driven. They just have to like you better than the other guy.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And which comes from service, right? Yep. They want to call you at 7:00 and you answer, or whatever it is that guy needs to feel from you as his broker.
Yeah, and they everyone. Clients like to talk. Once you develop, it takes a minute to get to rapport stage, but once you get to rapport, your clients they like you.
Yeah. No, I've found the handoff has been very challenging for me in my career when I try to hand deals off to people and be like,
because they want to talk to you.
They want to talk to me,
especially if y'all done deals, y'all been in the trenches together. They're like, that's my guy.
Yeah, So
on the flip side, I think it's the coolest part of what we do, though. We talk to the guy who's not all businesses are successful, but we talk to a lot of successful guys, and those relationships you develop. It's probably my favorite part of it all.
Oh yeah,
because you get to talk to studs, and men who've had success love anyone who will listen.
Yeah.
And we want to teach it's in our core.
Yeah.
And you learn so much from successful guys.
Oh, totally.
That's my favorite part of this whole game is the people, the relationships you really do get to have, the guys you like that are like badasses that give you some wisdom.
Yeah. No,
So-
it's what's a lot seated Matador.
Yeah.
Clients of mine that have had very successful businesses, and we had a great relationship and sold them a piece of industrial real estate, worked out very well, executed the transaction for them. And I'm like, hey, I'm buying this. And they're like, well, man, you know, there's already proof of concept with what I'm sitting in, and, I'll take a shot on you. And, so I would say that was kind of the seed of what I do here now, so.
Yeah, if you execute, man, people love when you execute. That's the only thing that matters. Can you execute?
In all fairness, you get paid a lot for it.
If you can execute.
If you can execute, it's
solve
tough.
all the problems.
It's tough to execute, but you get paid very well for it, and they know that. They know what you're getting, and a lot of them will razz you about it. And when they do, I always like to tell them, hey, we're hiring. if you want to come on over, we're hiring, and but
people razz us, but they don't realize how much work went to get to the razzing.
Sure.
Like, do you know how many doors? Do you know
Sure.
how many people told me to?
Sure. I'll tell you what too, though, when you're not executing too, it's not good. It's a very obvious glaring thing. Now I see that now from running brokers on my assets. I'm like, you're not executing, dude. And you're fixing to and you're asking me to pay you this. Like,
you better get it done.
I take an approach to managing my brokers now that's like, we don't have to have these long 30-minute calls, but I'm going to call you every week and you better have an update for me. It could be a 5-minute call, but like, it better be some substance. Like,
or a suggestion of what to do
or something.
Like, don't just say nothing happened. Like, what's the plan?
No.
Yeah, we say that all the time. Don't say no problems without a solution. That doesn't.
No.
You cannot tell me a problem without your way to an idea of just tell me. Just to get it could be a bad. There's no bad idea really. Just tell me how you'd fix it.
Yeah. Like, or give me something. Come up with something. Yeah,
you have those owner reports where something's not hot, the listing's not hot, but it's different when you come with them. Like, hey, here's what I would do. We haven't had activity. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Here's my adjustment. Here's what we need to go make it.
I have one listing right now. I'll still take a couple things here and there, and
to sell or lease.
To sell.
Yeah.
And I have one listing and it has some hair on it. There's some challenges with it, and we can't execute at the current pricing. And I sent them a long explanation, and I'm like, right now I'm like considering calling them next week and here in the near future and be like, hey, we're either doing this or I'm out. Like, because
this is what it's going to take to sell it.
This is what it's going to take to sell it. If you're not willing to do it, then you need to do something else with it.
Yeah.
So
maybe we'll get them to do something.
Yeah. Who knows? They didn't respond to my email.
Client relations.
So y'all, when did y'all start the Oklahoma City office?
August. We're a year in August.
Yeah. Okay. And you got two younglings with you now?
Two young bucks that are been doing a great job.
Yeah.
I forgot when I started how much it is to get going. There's a lot. It's when you're tenant repping and doing landlord stuff and stuff's under it's just there's a lot of moving pieces.
It's a lot going on.
It forces you though as a young buck to have to get organized, and it forces growth.
Yeah. Totally. You expand. Right?
You have to get better.
You have to get better. You got to get more efficient.
And it's painful in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's painful. You don't know how to handle people.
Yeah.
It takes a long time before you get good at people. People are, I'd say it's a skill. It takes a long, many skins to understand how it all works.
The Dave Ramsey always has this saying. He goes, "Business is easy until people get involved."
Yeah. It's the hardest part.
It's the hardest part. So, I mean, you're sitting here in our new office and, you kind of see there's a little room for growth in here.
Yeah. I love seeing this. I love when the pictures aren't hung and everything's getting set up.
Yeah. But when we moved to this office, I looked at it and I said, this would house about 18 people. I had an architect lay it out. And I was like, all right, if we get to 18 people, I'm out.
That's a lot.
I'm out. Like, I'm selling and hasta la vista, baby. I'm out. So I've had you've had a lot of employees.
Yeah. 44 at one time.
Yeah.
I was like,
I had 40 at one time and it was.
See, so and those are things that maybe you were in a spot where you weren't ready to be and you get humbled. But those are great examples of managing 44 people. I've came so far in managing and leadership that I was in a spot where really I damn near had no business being there. Like I was if looking back on it, ego aside, we were probably way bigger than we ever should have been.
Yeah.
And just managing that many people, it's hard.
It's hard.
It's a learning curve.
What was hard about it for me was like, I felt like when I had 40 employees that everybody wanted to have a relationship with me. And I'm like, I don't have that much margin in my life right now for that many relationships.
And then you can't even work. You can't even do anything of deep work that only you really like two people can do. You can't even do it because everyone wants to talk. Yeah. But you didn't have it set up right. Like stuff didn't filter to you the right way.
Yeah. Well, but like
speaking about me, by the way, I don't know.
For me, it was like, I could go execute on things and then like I have no time for you. Or I can come be the cheerleader out in the shop, pat you on the back. And you know what? Some guys needed that. They wanted to, you know what? I mean, when you're building a team, they want to know that the leader cares, which it's like, hey, I care, but like, you don't understand my value here versus my value doing this. You know what I mean? But they still, but then again, like, I always kind of look back at Mercer Metals and I say, if I would have fully dedicated myself to just being there every day, welding out parts, being the guy hanging out in the shop all day long, and then go make a couple sales and come back. Then I probably would have made a pretty good run at that business. But for me, it was like, I can go do real estate and make more money and
with less headache,
less people. And because it's a lot of families depending on you.
A lot.
I mean,
yeah.
So you think about it, you have 40 employees. Let's say they average households 3.5 people. I mean, you're talking about like 150 people are relying on you.
Yes. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
And working on the business versus in the business, I didn't understand that concept until I like felt it.
Yeah.
Like, if when you're the bottleneck because you have so much going on in the business, like that's a problem.
Yeah.
It's not scalable, right? It's nothing that's like sustainable.
It's not. And
scalable, everyone loves that word right now. Sustainable's kind of in the same genre, but like, it's not sustainable what we're doing.
No.
And it's getting hindered because I didn't get to approve. So it's just, we didn't know how to set it up. We just got big really fast and didn't know. No, what we didn't know.
You didn't. And you know what? That happens. And growth like that it's hard to keep it's hard to keep the blocking and tackling in place when you're growing at that rate. Where you're trying to throw touchdowns constantly, you forget about blocking and tackling sometimes, right? Or you forget about playing defense. You're like, hey, we're just gonna score. Well, you got to play defense too.
You got to play D.
It's
supply chain management.
Well, like
never had a degree in that. I got it until ordering packaging from China.
Yeah,
it's stuck at the port and orders are ready, but we sold it, but we can't get it.
Yeah. Well, in operating business, your revenue section of your P&L is offense and your expenses is defense.
Yeah, that's a good way to put that.
And sometimes you forget to play defense, or you don't know where your gaps are in your defense because you're so focused on playing offense.
Or you're bleeding. Yeah. You're bleeding somewhere and you're playing offense so hard you don't. Cash hides flaws.
It does.
Oh my God. Cash Cash hides everything.
It hides a lot of
I'm
flaws.
invincible.
Yeah.
I cannot be touched.
Oh yeah, we can do that.
We can do-
we got
we-
plenty of money in the bank.
Oh,
You know,
yeah,
it's good.
we're really profitable over here. We can do all 10 more things. Let's go do all 10 at once. Ready? Here we go.
Yeah, no, it's there's a very true statement to that. And but at the end of the day, you know what cures everything? Sales, baby.
Sales. It's oxygen.
You create them leads, man. You get that stuff in the door. That's what creates that's what'll save you.
Yeah.
Sales can cure everything, but you still got to go execute on it on the back end. you know?
And fulfill it.
Yeah,
Execute and fulfill it.
Fulfill it.
Sales in today's world, though, you're selling, but you're servicing too. Sales is really service.
Yeah.
That's the key, in my opinion. Like it's it's service.
Yeah, it's once you've executed them on how you're going to service them, then I think it goes to fulfillment where you are actually doing the servicing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so the sales process of it is I generated the lead. I have the sales in place now I have the pitch, right? You know, you were on a tenant rep presentation before you came here today, right?
Yep.
You generated that lead by marketing. Your marketing was outbound cold calling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or in-person cold calling. The guy finally had a need, you know, he knew your brand, he knew who you were.
We've talked before.
So that marketing just worked and created itself into the ability to sell and say, okay, now you want to talk about what I can do for you and how I'm going to handle your business.
Yeah.
And so that's your sales process. And did he hire you? Yeah.
He didn't. I didn't really put the tenant. He didn't sign the tenant rep,
Mhm.
but I mean, I brought him options.
Yeah.
He liked the options. We're going to go tour.
Okay. So then now you're already into fulfillment now.
Yeah.
You know, you told them, here's the service, here's the plan. Here's the next step is fulfillment, which is going to tour and start transacting.
Yep.
And then getting under contract. That's still part of fulfillment, executing the contract,
Mhm.
executing due diligence, you know.
Which real estate's simple, but there's a lot of there's a lot of steps.
There's a lot of steps.
steps.
Oh yeah. Just because you get under contract does not mean it's going to happen.
No, you just get to have your first cheers, but
Mhm.
we just really started.
Yeah. No, it's I always like to say I don't really get excited till I get the email that says, congratulations, we have closed and funded. Here's your federal reference wire number, and all checks have been cut and processed in FedEx for overnight.
Then you can cheers.
Then you can cheers because now
it.
it's happened.
Yeah.
So that's when it goes down. So okay, so you've made a bazillion cold calls in your life,
Mm-hmm.
but what was the most awkward one you ever made?
Oh man, so many stories of cold calls. One was in Garland, and I walk in there. You walk in with a good attitude and you're nice, and people can be not nice. People can get worked up, but this lady kicks me out. She kicks me out really hard. I'm like, oh, fuck, I hear what you're saying. But is Jimmy in? Is Jim? Can I talk to Jim? I'm here. I just need 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I just got this bill. She kicks me out, but not only does she kick me out, she calls the police. Then she emails Jeff. She says that the next time I go, it's even long. He printed it and put it up. I thought I was going to be in trouble, but he printed it out and put it on the fridge. It was about basically if I come again, they're calling the cops. I'm not welcome in their facility. There will never be a need, and I have completely interrupted their place of business. I'm like, what did he? Turner's like, come look at the fridge. I look at the fridge. I'm like, oh, I'm like, start sweating. He's like, no, he loved it.
Yeah.
That was a funny post cold call, but one that was like one of my favorites is the no soliciting.
Yeah.
Everyone gets that.
Yeah.
The first time it ever happened, because I can't remember how I was talking to. Like, do the no smoking line. It was just my favorite.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Oh, no soliciting, you terrible salesperson." I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm dyslexic, ma'am. I'm really, really sorry." I said, "I thought that said no smoking," and I was like, "I quit smoking a year ago." She was like,
she didn't know what to do.
Her face was like red, and fire was blowing out of her ears. And then, of course, I'm like, "But does Bob have like 30 seconds?
Yeah.
Can I still go talk to him?"
Yeah.
And she kicks me out.
Oh,
But
I'm dyslexic. Gotta use it, dude. It's so it's so funny how riled up people
I
get,
get so worked up, man.
dude. This is not.
What's your cold call? What's
Golly, I haven't been put on the spot yet. I won't tell you. This isn't a cold call story. But I'll tell you, this is a pretty funny story. And this is a recent story. So I had this building, and it's a client. It's a family I represent. I represent all their stuff, and getting this building back. And one of their tenants in another building is like, "Hey, I'd be interested in that building." I said, "Okay, sure." And this was on a Wednesday, and I said, "Hey, listen, I'm on my way to San Antonio right now. I will be back Friday morning, and I can tour the building with you." And he goes, "Okay, well, let me confirm with my brother that that we can tour." I go, "Okay, great. Just let me know." So Friday comes around, never heard from him, and I'm down actually in Brook Hollow at one of my clients' offices, just kind of hanging out with them, talking to them, and they call me and they go, "Hey, are we still touring today?" I go, "Well, I mean, I never heard back from you, but I'm here. Like, you know,
let's do it."
Well, the building had a tenant in it at the time, and the tenant wasn't there. So I was like, we get there. I'm like, "Hey, man, like, I'm sorry. I tried to. I mean, you literally called me 5 minutes before you wanted to tour it." And he goes, "Well, we sent you an email." And I said,
"Poor follow-up."
I go, "Yeah." I go, "I get a lot of email. You sent me an email this morning. I'm sorry I haven't gotten to it yet." He goes, "What kind of broker are you? What kind of service is this?" I said, "You know what, man?" I was like, "You don't talk to me like this." I go, "And I don't need this shit."
Click.
No, we were in person. Yeah, we're in the parking lot. And he goes, "What'd you say?" I said, "I don't need this shit." He was like, he's like, "Yeah, real good customer service." I go, "You damn right. He goes, "Yeah, real good broker you are." I go, "Dude, I'm a fucking excellent broker." He got so mad at me.
That's funny.
So it was funny. A couple weeks later,
he calls back.
No, Turner calls me.
Oh,
"Hey, man, I'm working with so-and-so." I go, "Yeah, fuck those guys." He goes, "They want to tour the building." I go, "Nah."
Oh.
And he's like, "Come on, man, come on, like let me tour them through." So I go, "All right." I go, "They're running around with everybody." I go, "You send me a signed tenant rep letter." I was like, "I'm helping you out here, dog. You make them sign a tenant rep letter." I go, "I ain't touring them anything we got until you got to sign tenant rep letter." So I make Turner.
Did he get the tenant?
Yeah, he gets the tenant rep letter
because he had to. He had forced it.
I was like, "Dog, quit wasting your time with these assholes. Like, make them sign this shit, and then we'll tour a building, and then they probably won't buy it, but maybe you can rep them somewhere else, right?" And I was like, "You know, you got to. These guys are snakes, you know." I was like, and so they come to the building, and I open it up for them. And I actually ended up on a very important call. That I was like, "I'm just gonna take this call and like Turner, walk him around the building. Like, it's probably not gonna work out well if we interact anyways, the way it went down last time." So I was just on the phone the whole time. Well, that really upset them. I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, the building's a piece of shit, right?" I mean, it was total wreck. I was like, "What do you want me to tell you? The building's in bad condition?" Like, anyways, they didn't buy it.
They didn't.
And then I think they hosed Turner on this tenant rep.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. And so, anyways, that was a recent story. I'll tell you a funny story, though. Here's a recent cold call story. Me and Will went out and street brokered Capitol. So we're running up in office. You know, we're like in Preston Center running up.
Knocking on doors.
Yeah. You know, they're like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, "I'm raising money. Yeah. You know, I buy buildings. You like buildings? You like real estate? You look rich."
Yeah.
You know? So we walk into this first place, and I go, "Hey, man, what do y'all do here?" He's like, "What?" I was like, "What do you do here?" And he goes, "We buy real estate." I go, "Okay, well, cool." I go, "Are you like agnostic to asset class or what? You buy anything?" He goes, "What do you mean?" I went,
"What do you buy?"
I meant, "What do you buy? Like, will you buy any kind of asset class, or will you buy industrial or multifamily?" He goes, "All we buy is industrial." I go, Oh, cool, man. I own 1.3 million feet of industrial. He was just looked at me like he was just an idiot.
Offended.
Yeah. And I was
He's
like,
offended.
I was like, hey, moron, you buy industrial. And me and Will are sitting there. Yeah. We're like, hey, man, you're talking to investment committee right here.
Yeah.
We own 1.3 million feet. This guy looked at us like we had 3 heads. I was like, you buy industrial. You could buy our whole portfolio if you might have just said something, you know.
Just be nice.
So, and then literally we go to the next cold call. This is one day. This is one day me and Will cold calling Capital.
A good day.
And so we go to this next week. This was a guy that guy was in Irving at an office building. We went and cold called on this other person we knew, and we just saw his sign. I was like, let's go up in there. So we go up in there, and we go to Preston Center, and we go call on this one guy, and I'm like, hey, and he comes out and he's like, yeah. I go, hey man, we do value add industrial and all this stuff. He goes, well, we exclusively invest with blah 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 capital. And I was like, okay, you ain't looking for any other girlfriends?
Yeah.
And I said that to him, and he looked at me. I was like, golly, man, lighten up.
Just chill.
Jeez. Go back to crunching numbers, you dork.
No, people get so worked up.
It's so funny. Then we capped the day off by trying to go into this one building, and I think it's where George Bush has his family office, and they just met us at the front door. And
George
like,
Bush?
Yeah. And then I think T. Boone Pickens' family office is in there. We ended up getting a meeting in that office.
That's
though,
a heavy hitter office right there.
So, but it was funny. We were just like, we were street broker in Capital, and they were just like,
they didn't know what to do.
what? Or we're supposed to meet at Dallas Country Club. I'm like, no, we're just coming to your office.
The good thing about industrial is you can pretty much get in.
You can.
It's like their doors are
you
open.
walk in the dock door.
Yeah.
And man, everybody acts like you're supposed to be there. You're like, hey, the warehouse guy's like, hey man, what's up? You're like, hey, what's up, dude? Like,
Yeah. The key is you got to look like you're supposed to be there.
Mm-hmm. Or look like the FBI.
Yeah. Look like something's
Like,
up.
oh,
Like,
man,
who
I
is
knew
this
some
guy?
shit was going down with this guy. Where's Ken at? I'll go get him right now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, those are some of my real estate stories. And then I'll tell you something that happened to me yesterday. This is kind of funny. I just go to Target right here. There's a Starbucks in there. Go to get Starbucks, and I pull up next to this car. I opened my door and I tapped the rear view mirror.
Yeah.
This lady was like,
Oh, God. She was a kid. Wasn't it?
oh, she's total Karen.
Oh,
Just
Karen, just got-
loses it. She gets out. She goes, why did you park in between 2 cars?
It was a parking spot.
I was like, I just looked at her and go, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. She goes, you got to think.
Thank you.
She
Thank
goes,
you for that.
there's a whole parking lot here, and you parked in between 2 cars. Like, what do you think? I was like, I'm so sorry. You got to think about this. I go, thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate your opinion.
I just gave her this. I was just like, I was so bad. I wanted to be like, thank you, Karen. Hey, here's a technique,
She's having
though.
a rough day.
She was having a bad day, and I was just like, you know what? I just got to be nice to her.
That tap set it off.
You don't know
You
what
set her off.
you don't know what someone else is going through, so don't take it personally.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of smiled, walked off. But
On a cold call, when I ever start talking shit, like I've had enough. Like,
Yeah.
and the second I talk shit, I'm like, all right, I need to go take a break.
Yeah.
I need to go to the gas station, get me a fresh drink.
I've done that
Because I just talked shit on a cold call. I'm like, I don't really think that's that effective.
Yeah, I've totally done that too, man. I've got, you're like at number 14, and you're like, you walk in the next one, and they're like, fuck yeah. You're like, yo, you know what? You eat it. Like
you know what I just did?
Yeah.
Like, let me hear, look at this recent done deal sheet.
Yeah.
Like,
they don't care.
Yeah, they don't.
They don't. It's so funny.
One time, I got another. One time in Garland, you walk into everything. I've never dealt with that many first generation non-Americans that weren't from America. And it was my first time to ever get a real dose of that. But I think it was a Vietnamese group. But I walk in there and like it's rough, it's dark, it's dirty, it smells weird, and like I'm trying to get to the back, and it's like a bit of a hoarding spot, and like then like something like jumps on the table. And I kind of like brush it off, but then I like kind of like scraffles around. I look back and it's a squirrel. I look at the squirrel and it like kind of like startles me. And he's like bowed up to me. I'm like, is he gonna attack? And then I take a step and he like steps forward. And I'm like, this was an aggressive squirrel. It's like, I think I threw something at him and he went away. But
that's pretty funny.
now, like he startled me too.
Yeah, my only animal story was I was showing this vacant building that was all stripped out, and we toured the building, and I walked out and I go, oh man, I don't think I left this one door open. I walked back in, and dude, I ain't lying. There was about a 6-foot snake on the ground.
Oh no!
I was like,
my
hell no!
You can have
hell
Mr.
no.
Snake.
Yeah, I'm no any snake. A dead snake's the only good snake I know of to me. So
Dogs too running up on you. I never really liked that too.
No,
I'm like, you don't know what? I'm like, what? I'm like,
dude, we were touring a building last week or week before in San Antonio, and I started walking over, and this pit bull starts trotting at me. I was like, nope,
I'm good with that.
Yeah, I was like, we're good. So yeah, that's definitely happened. I remember one time I sold a building, and Jeff, we were in the sales meeting. He goes, well, this is. Got to hand it to Jeremy. He's the first one to sell a building where they had a standing pit bull in the office, like in the waiting room, like
Can greet you.
I like went past him. I was like, "Hey, dog, I want to sell this guy building.
Don't bite me, please. Don't bite me.
Don't bite me." And I was willing to risk it. At that
I
point
would have risked it too.
Yeah. So, what's the most unique deal you pulled off?
Oh. One of the best ones we ever did, was that one off Shepherd. We hit him with an amazing retrade.
We got a freaking javelin missile on our shoulder, and
it worked.
It totally worked.
We hit the huge.
I think we terminated.
We did. We sent him the letter, and she didn't sign it. But what pissed me off about that deal is I've called that woman for 3 years.
Yeah.
And then she shows up with
the next door neighbor scrap dealer who's also a real estate broker.
Judy.
Yeah.
I remember Judy.
Judy Chin or something.
Yes. That was probably one of the more unique deals. There's more. I got to think, but that was a very unique one.
That was.
Because we hit him with a $250,000 retrade.
And then we sold them off.
And then we sold them.
We split them. That's unique because, boy, those were 10-foot clear.
Yeah, they were. But we got them a great price.
The thing too that you could overcome with those buildings was the land component that it had.
And the back.
Yeah. And that was a cool story because we had 2 buildings on one plat.
Yep.
We meets and bounds, sold them off, put an access agreement down the middle, shared access agreement, sold them 2 different users.
Mm-hmm.
So
we smoked that one.
That was a good rip. It's funny. Yeah. I learned something with that. That was the second building Matador ever bought.
That was
the second building we ever. Well, we were Equity Capital at that time.
Yeah, I'm an OG. I'm an OG broker for you guys.
Yeah. So if anybody knows the original name of Matador, and
I remember Capital Equity Capital.
Capital Equity Capital.
Yeah.
And that was CEC Shepherd Partners.
It was. That was a good one.
That was a good one. And that was when I was sitting down with Tammany one day, and I was like, man, I think I could scale this. I don't think Capital Equity Capital is going to be the name. It was a joke. It was a total joke just to make fun of finance bros.
We've got some good spreadsheet properties.
Spreadsheets.
That's a great property.
Escalade.
Yeah.
Escalade Ventures. But on that deal, we went in there and we fixed them up. But what I learned on that deal, that was hard raising the money on it because it was such an ugly ass property.
Mm-hmm. And we had to get a construction loan too.
And it was only a $850,000 purchase at the time.
Mm-hmm.
We bought it for $850,000. We put about $250,000 into it, and we sold it for $2,050,000.
Yeah, pretty dang good.
It was pretty good.
That was a good one.
And what I realized, and in the middle of doing that one, I did the Caliber Collision, which is a $5 million purchase. It was so much easier to raise.
North?
Yeah. So much easier to raise because it's a clean looking building. I was like, was anybody paying attention to the yield? It ain't a lot of yield, but it's a badass site, but it ain't a lot of yield. And the yield I had on this thing was a lot more harder to raise, but it was an interesting lesson on how equity has optics on the asset.
That's an interesting way to put that.
So, But I was like, crushing on this deal.
That was a good one.
We'll do really well on that asset too because of its location, but it's going to take a lot longer. So, you're very big. You're a very disciplined person. You're one of the most disciplined people I know. And so I know you got to have a lot of structure. And I mean,
Keeps you sane.
Yeah. I mean, you before you said you'd do this, you need to know where the closest gym was so you could get your workout on.
So, they had to have a shower too.
Yeah. You got some requirements that got to be met. So what's kind of your habits and routines that you go through that make you successful?
I think the biggest one is an hour a day is some sort of self-development. And right now I'm reading it's actually probably more than that. I got to drive to work. I am obsessive of Audible. I don't miss a day of Audible.
Yeah.
My streak is it's crazy.
Just listening to audio.
Yeah, on the car. And the way it just gets you mentally going for me. I read 30 minutes a day. And then I've switched my reading strategies as I've evolved too a little bit. I read a book, I do a book report, and then I study that before I go on to the next one.
Yeah.
If it's something I'm into.
Yeah.
If it's not something I just like, I need to learn this more, I'll go to the next. But
you'll do an actual book report on it.
Book report, yeah. Like just did the 21 Laws of Leadership.
Yeah.
Great. John Maxwell is great. Did that one. Jim Camp's Start With No.
Yeah.
And then I went back to Never Split the Difference after him, Harris and I were talking.
Yeah.
He sent me some of them on Never Split that. I'm like, man, I need to reread that. Because that's how I got the book Start With No from Jim Camp, negotiating guy. And so that's what I'm on right now.
Do you type these book reports out?
Yeah. I use the Kindle, so I highlight and then I export as much as I can, but I usually highlight more and then I got to go finish typing it out. They take a long time.
Oh, I'm sure.
And then I go refine it to get something manageable where I can read it quickly. So I can read Never Split the Difference in 45 minutes.
Do you use ChatGPT to do that?
I haven't been. I should start.
You didn't knock it out.
Yeah.
In like a minute.
I actually said on the weekends I'm about to spend an hour in AI every weekend.
Dude, Isabella's a ChatGPT wizard. I wrote a really poor email because you know how poor Jeff and I's grammar is.
Yes.
And I said, make this better. And it just went, and like bolded all the things. Oh, I would have bolded that, but I didn't want to take the time to do it. But that's great.
That's good.
And we put a lease in there and said, abstract us look for these 15 points in the lease. And it goes,
that's pretty dang good.
Yeah. You got to take your book reports and be like, hey, form this into a book report for me. That's great.
And I'm going to do that.
It'll clean it all up.
But to answer your question, that's what I do. An hour a day. So, and then I make everybody, 21 Laws of Leadership, lead by example. But we do this Cardone University training. Mm-hmm. It's a sales training.
Yeah.
And so I do 30 minutes of that every day.
Cash flow.
Let's go, baby. But right now, I just finished the follow-up block and I'm building out just some structured follow-up as a company.
Yeah.
That's what I'm working on right now.
What book are you reading right now?
Never Split the Difference.
Never Split the Difference.
Yeah.
That's the FBI negotiator.
Yeah. I like that one because Jim, combined with Jim Camp, I like that one though because it's so street specific.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you Never Split the Difference is great. It's like those tools in there I think everyone needs to read that. If you have to negotiate, that's a must.
Yeah.
I love that book.
I like your idea of doing a book report because I feel like you can go read all these books, but you never really retain them. And
that's what Harris and I talked about.
It's like, do you really get a lot out of it if you just read it and move on to the next?
Yeah.
But like if you really just read it and implemented it, would you have to read all these books?
No,
you know what I mean?
You wouldn't. But here's what I told. We had this. My 2 cents on that because I've done the years of 50 books in a row, and then I've done a year of 12.
Yeah,
and now I'm probably doing like closer to like 6.
Yeah,
but the good shit sticks.
Yeah,
even on Audible, the good shit sticks. Like you could listen to a book 5 times, and you'll hear something different every single time.
Right,
every single time you'll hear in your stage in life and where you're at. Yeah. You will hear different things.
Yep.
But I think the good shit sticks.
Yeah.
I'd rather overdo it than underdo it.
Yeah. It's true. I like that.
But I think you dial in. For me, I dial in. There's like just 4 specific things I like right now that I'm trying to get better at. And so I'm like hyper focused.
What are those 4 things?
Negotiating, leadership, sales, and mindset.
Okay.
But those are the 4 categories I read from. And I'm just like hyper focusing. And damn near, I want to get so good at never split the difference. And Jim Camp starting with know that like I can it is how I operate.
Yeah. What's your favorite book that you've read?
Oh, favorite book. There's so many.
Or which one do you feel is the most impactful?
I think in life, there's chapters in life.
Okay.
I think it's not like start in, there's chapters. In sales, since we're talking about real estate, when I first started in true sales, outbound sales, I have my buddy who's been in sales for a long time. I'm like, these people like me. And like, I have this amazing rapport built, but like nothing's happening. I'm like, how the hell do I close?
Yeah.
And then I read Grant Cardone's Sell or Be Sold.
Yeah.
Which is I think a must read for anyone getting into sales. It's a foundational book. That started my obsession of sales training, and I've never stopped since 7 years later.
You know, a lot of people give Grant Cardone shit, and maybe rightfully so, maybe not. Who knows? But I will say I read his 10X book.
Read both and 10X Mentors and 10X, read both of them.
10X made me kind of think, in the beginning of Matador, I go, man, I'd love to like have about $100 million worth of real estate in like 5 or 6 years. That'd be awesome.
Put a 0 behind it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we hit $100 million in like year 2.5 or year 3 by into year 3. And I was like, okay, now it's like, where do we go? And but it got me in the mindset of like, just put another 0 behind it. Let's do that,
GC, that's my guy. 2 things with him. I think that he's evolved too, right? And he's been so successful, he can afford his opinion now. So he doesn't really, he's his authentic self, which is like kind of cool. Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah.
I think that there's a mindset he teaches, which I think mental mindset is the low-hanging fruit, and we don't really get coached in it.
Yeah.
And there's a mindset of 10X that I have adapted to my core that I personally like. And then there's the actual technical skills of selling, with different than mindset. And then he got into investing. So he's like got kind of like 3 phases of him.
Yeah.
But I say what you want about him. He is good. He's a great salesman. He's got good core foundations in sales. He just is a little loud, and he likes what he does, and he's a great promoter. Yeah, he's an amazing. He's probably one of the best marketers of all time.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like Trump, right? Like, and when Trump was always a figure, but like once he got a platform,
he's another player.
Yeah, he's just different, right? And so now you're hearing him from that perspective, and that's why a lot of people don't like him, or why a lot of people do like him. And same thing with Grant Cardone. He's been a sales trainer forever, and then he started buying a lot of real estate and get that cash flow.
Now he's good at it. And he educates like he does. He gives back. That book though was a great one in life. My favorite book of all time, most influential. Oof. Well, I'm thinking, what was yours?
I had to be The Greatest Salesman in the World.
Yeah. It's a good one.
Had the most impact on me.
Changes. That was a good one.
Actually doing the work of reading it.
That was such a beast.
Yeah.
That was a beast book. There's sections too. It's like, what are you trying to learn at the time?
Yeah. Well, I like your point of there's different phases in life where different things resonate.
Tools of the Titans was a good one. I love that book.
We read that during 75 Hard.
Yeah.
We both read. That's when we got that. I got that book. That's when we did that.
How to win friends and influence people.
That
one changed my life.
Very common one.
My dad told me to read that, and I like kind of did. But then when I read it again, I'm like, man, that just gives you a way to connect with people. Yeah, and that is what that's kind of the secret sauce.
It is. It totally is. So, well, what's something about Tucker that no one knows? What's something unique about
this? Is easy.
This is easy. Good. I'm glad it's easy.
I'm a competitive salsa dancer.
That's right.
Come on, man. I just performed last week. Let me tell you about this. I was the only gringo there.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
Okay, so they have these congresses, and I started dancing 2 years ago, and I went to this congress, and the people could dance so good, and I was like, and and these people performed, and I was like, and I was so terrible when I started. I look at them, I'm like, I'm gonna perform up there. I don't know why I like the costume.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be up there one day. Fast forward 2 years later, and here I am performing at the same Congress 2 years later.
Yeah,
but it's been like the ultimate stress relief. Is really why I kept doing it.
Yeah,
I don't know what about it is. It was in a hard time in life, a lot of stress. I felt like there was stress on every angle. I was just so much pressure that I would go dance for an hour and I would feel good.
Well, you probably couldn't have your phone on you.
And you have to think.
You got to think about
your feet.
You're working
it's
with a
moving
partner.
Meditation. You had to breathe.
Yeah.
Someone's with you. You have to get your feet. You're terrible.
Yeah.
And I'm an athlete. I played football forever.
Yeah.
I am an athlete, but like these people were dancing so much better than me. I'm like, and salsa's athletic.
Yeah.
But it's been a journey on the dance world. But anyways, I performed finally. We hit it smooth.
What made you decide to get into that?
Man, my mom sent me a video of these people dancing. I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
I'm like, this is cool. And so then I was in Dallas and I found a studio and I would just go on Tuesday nights. I wasn't very serious though.
Yeah.
And I would go by myself on Tuesday nights from like 8 to 10.
Yeah.
And then I stopped, moved back to Oklahoma City, and my mom's woman was working on her house. She was painting, and she's like, "Oh, I'm a salsa teacher." I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah." And she's like, "No, I teach bachata and salsa." I'm like, "Okay." So I went to class, and then they did this bachata dance.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Bachata and what? What are you talking about?" But then I'm like, I went a couple weeks in a row. I just kind of started liking it, and I'm like, "Is there like something more? Like, how do I get better at this?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, we're starting this progressive class that takes you from 0 to, and you kind of rank up." So then once I started that, I just kind of got hooked.
That's awesome.
And then here I am 2 years later, still dancing.
How many nights a week you dance now?
Oh, I was 2 nights a week, but my girlfriend, she won't let me dance 2 nights a week anymore. I'm down to 1.
You can't get her to get in there with you?
She'll come dance with me.
I mean, women gotta love that, right?
Yeah, she'll come dance with me.
Yeah.
I got to I moved up the ranks.
Yeah.
And I like that there was rankings.
Yeah.
Level 1, 2, 3 in performance.
Yeah, no, that's like the journey I'm in jiu-jitsu. It's like, it's like, okay, I can see, I see how I'm starting to unlock things, and it's there's a lot of mental part to it. It's like, oh, I can't do this because of that, because of this, you know what I mean? And it's, so yeah. And then it's like, okay, you progress, you get a stripe, you get another stripe. Okay, cool. Now I see what it, now I know the blueprint I got to follow and all these things. And so, and it took, golly, just
time, reps.
I mean, I'm 9 months in and like, I'm not even scratching the surface of understanding, and it's like, but from where I was,
progress
6 months ago, it's like, it's totally different.
I looked at a video when I first started, and now I was like, dang.
Yeah.
Like that, you sometimes it's good to see reflect on where you've come from. I'm like, that's a big improvement.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool, man. That's a unique,
it's
for
very
sure.
Unique. Not a lot of gringos do that.
No, you got to be the only güero up in there.
I was. But it was on big stage. Everyone's in costumes.
Yeah.
The bright lights were on, probably in front of 200 people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's high pressure. It
That's
was kind of nerve wracking.
That's awesome.
I felt like I was back in sports.
Yeah. Yeah. It's another way of competing. So.
What else was kind of cool about that is we spent 8 months doing this for 3 minutes.
Right.
8 months came down to 3 minutes.
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy.
Isn't that like the Olympians?
Yeah.
They spend 4 years for 10 seconds.
But I have a perspective on how they're on more extreme.
That's their life.
But it was so much work for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I bet the feelings of the Olympics is just.
Oh yeah. It's that, but I mean, like putting that much time into something for that little moment, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you're in a room of so many people and you're the only ones that can do that, So that's pretty cool.
So it's been fun.
Yeah, that is fun. That's awesome. Well, man, this has been good. It's time to get on.
All right.
West.
We got some dove hunting.
We got the Mercer Company dove hunt.
Heard them Kansas dove flew in too.
Yeah, had a little cold front, a little rain, and Kansas dove, push them down, get a little water, So, yeah, no, we're fixing to head west. So we got to get on the road.
Yeah.
The boys are congregating. So
They're probably already, Wiggs is there for sure.
oh yeah,
T's
So,
for sure there.
Yeah. So, well, Tucker Cason, everybody, thanks for coming on, man. It was awesome.
Sweet. Thanks for having me.
Yep. See ya.